The bulk of the Clone Wars were fought out on the Galactic Rim, but contrary to many of the Republic's other wars, there was also considerable fighting in the core worlds as well. Many of these battles in the core had the potential to change the entire course of the conflict, offering control of vital hyperspace routes or considerable economic and military power to the victor. The battle we'll be discussing today, the Battle of Rendili, was one such battle. In it, the CIS nearly seized control of one of the Republic's most important shipbuilders, only to be thwarted in the nick of time by the efforts of a handful of Jedi.
Attention, Sergeant on deck!
Rendili was one of the core founders of the Republic, and for 25,000 years, it was a Republic fortress world. Its status as a core founder made it wealthy and important, but its wealth and power were increased considerably after the founding of Rendili Star Drive on the planet in 20,000 BBY. Rendili Star Drive, together with fellow Rendili firms Rendili Hyperworks, Golan Arms, and Rendili/Vangevalis Drive Yards, was one of the top starship building corporations in the entire galaxy, and for tens of thousands of years, it was the Republic Navy's primary supplier of warships. Rendili produced some of the most iconic warships in the history of the galaxy. The Hammerhead-class cruiser, which served as the backbone of the Republic Navy for almost the entirety of both the old and new Sith Wars, was a product of Rendili Hyperworks, while Rendili Star Drive designed and manufactured the Dreadnaught-class heavy cruiser, which was one of the most widely used capital ships in the galaxy before the outbreak of the Clone Wars. For tens of thousands of years, Rendili's role as the galaxy's #1 builder of warships was largely unchallenged. But after the end of the new Sith Wars, the Republic Navy was dissolved, and Rendili lost its prestige as its primary supplier. Things worsened in 100 BBY when Kuat and its own shipbuilding firm, Kuat Drive Yards, began to overshadow Rendili Star Drive and its sister companies, earning the ire of many on Rendili. These tensions were exacerbated when the Clone Wars broke out, and KDY, not Rendili Star Drive, was chosen to be the primary supplier of the reformed Republic Navy. The Republic didn't cut Rendili out of the loop entirely, however, and perhaps as consolation to the aggrieved company, it sponsored a joint venture between Rendili Star Drive and Kuat Drive Yards to design a new backbone for the Republic Navy. This joint venture, the Victor Initiative, led to the creation of the first Star Destroyers, with the two shipyards' collaboration producing the Victory-class Star Destroyer in 20 BBY. But by the time the Victory was finally deployed, the Republic had already started using the Venator-class Star Destroyer, a branch project of the Victor Initiative that was exclusively designed and produced by KDY. Rendili was undercut by Kuat yet again. As you can imagine, the people of Rendili weren't terribly happy over this state of affairs. Not long after the completion of the Victor Initiative, there was unrest on the planet, which led to the establishment of the Independent Provisional Government of Rendili, a separatist government that announced intentions to join the CIS. This was seriously bad news for the Republic. Not only would a separatist Rendili give the Confederacy a stronghold in the heart of the core worlds and control of Rendili's famed shipyards, but it would also give the Confederacy control of the Rendili home defense fleet. This was an enormous fleet of Dreadnaught-class heavy cruisers that represented one of the largest planetary security forces in the galaxy, and now a serious threat to loyalist core worlds. Fortunately for the Republic, the Rendili home fleet wasn't as eager as the new planetary government to turn its back on the Republic. Many in the fleet, including its commanding officer, Jace Dallin, were torn between loyalty to their homeworld and to the Republic they had served for years. Thus, the Republic's response to Rendili's secession was to send a Jedi-led task force to the planet to negotiate with the commanders of the home fleet, hoping to talk them into siding with the Republic against the Independent Provisional Government. Jedi Master Plo Koon and Republic Navy Captain Jan Dodona were sent to the Rendili flagship, the Mersul Kebir, to negotiate with Dallin, as the three men had all fought together during the Stark Hyperspace War. Meanwhile, the Republic had a fleet of 3 acclimated class assault ships, the flagship Sundriver, Triumph, and the Donita. Stationed nearby, under the command of Sacy Tin and Commander Adar Talon, with orders to destroy the Rendili dreadnoughts if the negotiations fell through. As negotiations continued, the Republic sent Obi-Wan Kenobi, Anakin Skywalker, and Commander Cody to join the Republic fleet above the planet, though Kenobi was promptly diverted to investigate the missing zoological ship Tatavian 4 in a nearby system. After days of negotiations, Captain Dallin was swayed by Plo Koon and Dodona, and he decided to order the Rendili home fleet to defect to the Republic. But before he could give the order, a number of the younger officers in his crew, led by Lieutenant Melor Yago and Lieutenant Galan, staged a mutiny. They arrested Dallin and the Republic negotiators for treason against Rendili and declared that the Rendili home fleet would side with the Confederacy. To prevent the Republic fleet from attacking, Yago claimed Dodona, Plo Koon, and Dallin as hostages, vowing to execute them if the Republic attempted to destroy the Rendili dreadnoughts. This was just a move to stall for time. Yago was in contact with General Grievous, who promised that CIS Navy reinforcements would arrive to assist the Rendili home fleet in approximately 20 hours. Once these 20 hours were up, Yago contacted General Tin and offered him an ultimatum. The Republic fleet would withdraw within 1 hour, or he would start killing hostages anyway, starting with Plo Koon. Seeing no way to rescue the hostages, Tin planned to just destroy the Rendili home fleet as ordered. But Anakin Skywalker had a different idea. Due to the design of the Rendili dreadnoughts, they could be disabled with precision charges placed on their aft sections, which would knock out the ship's navigation systems. Skywalker proposed that he load up his starfighter, the Azure Angel II, with charges to deploy against the cruisers, but Tin shot this plan down. Around the same time, Obi-Wan Kenobi returned from the Tatavian 4 with Jedi renegade Quinlan Vos in tow. Tin had Vos thrown in the brig, but his attention was soon drawn away when a pair of separatist Lucrehulk-class core ships emerged from hyperspace. As the core ships began deploying Vulture droids, Tin ordered the Republic fleet to engage. The Triumph and Donita would focus on the core ships, while the Sundriver attacked the Mersul Kabir and its squadron of 5 other Rendili dreadnoughts. V-19 Torrents, LAAT gunships and Delta-7 Jedi starfighters were deployed, and Anakin, against orders, loaded up the Azure Angel II with precision charges anyway, planning to make his attack run on the dreadnought's navigation systems after all. During the battle, several of the Republic assault ships took heavy damage. One hit caused power failures on the Sundriver, which deactivated the energy fields on Quinlan Vos's cell. Vos, with Obi-Wan in tow, then reclaimed his personal ship, the Scorp Ion, to use in boarding the Mersul Kabir and freeing the hostages there. As the battle turned in the Confederacy's favor, conflict between loyalists and separatists continued across the Rendili home fleet. This led Yago to order the crews of the other Rendili dreadnoughts to slave their navigation systems to those of the Mersul Kabir. That way, if the loyalists retook any of the other cruisers, Yago could force the whole fleet to jump to separatist space from the flagship anyway. When Republic forces detected this, Tin ordered the Sundriver to ram the Mersul Kabir in the hopes of destroying it. But this proved unnecessary when Anakin Skywalker blew up the Mersul Kabir's navigation systems, stranding the entire Rendili home fleet. Around the same time, Kenobi and Vos freed Plo Koon, Captain Dodona, and Captain Dallin, and the 5 men led the remaining loyalist officers in retaking the ship. Dallin executed Melor Yago and ordered the home fleet to join the Republic fleet in the battle against the core ships. In short order, all separatist assets were destroyed and the remaining mutineers were executed. The Republic was victorious. After the battle, the Rendili home fleet was brought to Coruscant to be integrated into the Republic Navy. Some of the Rendili dreadnoughts were converted into dungeon ships meant to transport captured Dark Jedi, which saw extensive use during the Great Jedi Purge. In the wake of the battle, Supreme Chancellor Palpatine convinced the Senate to nationalize all remaining planetary security forces, folding all the home fleets in the Republic into the Republic Navy. So that's the story of the Battle of Rendili, one of the most important space battles of the Clone Wars. But what do you think? Have you read the comic arc this battle comes from? Free to post your thoughts in the comments section below. And as always guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.